Jason Kenney is a racist. Come join us on November 4th.
All right, that is a promotional video that went out for an event that happened last night here in Toronto. Yes, Byline has moved to Toronto as we prepare for the American election, so we're going to be here today. But let me tell you, that video went out by a group called No One Is Illegal. Longtime viewers of this program will remember them. They're the crazy people that call Canada Turtle Island. They say that we shouldn't have any restrictions on immigrating to Canada, but also say that we're all squatting on native land and shouldn't be here. So what is it, people? Michael Corrin might have an idea because he was with those people last night as he tried to enjoy a nice dinner. Michael, good to see you.
Pleasure. Well, when you say with these people, I walked past them.
You walked past
to
them.
have my lovely dinner.
I'm not trying to insinuate that you are with No One Is Illegal. You were trying to go to this event last night.
Yeah.
Explain what the event is and why they were honoring Jason Kenney, because that ties into why the No One Is Illegal and the Mohawk Warriors and all these other assorted Marxist groups showed up.
And for example, the Toronto Rape Crisis Centre that receives public funding that's meant to be an access point for women who've gone through the trauma of rape, but apparently is run by people, it seems, who are radical Marxists, and we should talk about that as well. The dinner was Haifa University, which is one of the most progressive universities in the world. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that or not, but Haifa is a very assimilated city. University is probably 30 to 40% Arab in Israel. Can you imagine a 30 to 40% Jewish university in an Arab country? They were giving an honorary doctorate to Jason for his work against racism, ironically, and anti-Semitism, his work in publicizing the reality of the Holocaust, and in speaking out for the state of Israel, democracy in the Middle East. And all sorts of people were there of various politics, and he received this honor. There must have been 1,000 people actually inside the building, and probably about under 200 of these assorted lunatics outside demonstrating. But mainstream media gave, obviously, the attention to those people who were demonstrating.
And so they're there calling Jason Kenney a racist.
Yeah.
As he's being honored for fighting against racism. What is their claim to that? This man is in charge of an immigration system that has consistently let in about 250,000 legal, normal immigrants per year. And I use the term normal because that's the normal channel. And then there are other channels. Once you add in the temporary foreign workers, of which we have no exit controls on, the foreign students that come in, we assimilate into Canada each year about 600,000 people or more, about the size of the city of Mississauga, lands in this country every year, but that somehow shows that you don't like immigrants.
Well, most of the demonstrators were white middle-class people. If you speak to ethnic communities in this country, they've never felt more empathy and compassion and genuine closeness from an immigration minister than they do now, which is one of the reasons, frankly, why so many of these people are now voting Conservative. But that doesn't bleed down to these idiots on the street. They'll protest anything. Ontario Coalition Against Poverty, I mentioned Toronto Rape Crisis Centre, various sort of gay, Jewish, neurotic groups angry at mummy and daddy saying they hate Israel. So they were there. There were small groups of other protesters as well. But they've been promoting this for the longest time. They probably did not have 200 people there. And it's the same people. I've covered 2 demonstrations in the past 2 months, and you saw the same faces there. All their expensive iPods and their iPhones taking photos of everything, the same chants. But we had no awareness of it inside the building. And inside the building, there were descendants of Holocaust survivors, actual people who'd gone through the Holocaust, various ethnic backgrounds. And you know what was fascinating? Whenever Stephen Harper's name was mentioned, that there was a standing ovation. Bob Ray was there. And I've never seen a man sort of visibly decay in front of my eyes, but he looked terribly uncomfortable.
Because the group that was there, mainly Jewish, predominantly Jewish
but
crowd,
not exclusively,
supporting Stephen Harper. That used to be Bob Ray's constituency.
It used to be. Look, they're supporting a government that speaks out against anti-Semitism and supports the Jewish state. And not only has Harper been pro-Israel, but also he has said Durban, for example. I mean, there's a lovely anecdote about Jason Kenney, who was asked, why are you boycotting Durban too? And he said, well, there are many reasons, but I'll give you 2. Libya is the chair and Iran is the vice chair. And that was the end of it. Well, in the past, I'm not saying the Liberal government was anti-Semitic or even particularly opposed to Israel, but they wouldn't go to bat for them. So they go along to Durban and say, oh, well, you know, we'll try and build bridges. You can't build bridges with a bunch of Nazi lunatics. You just say, no, we're not going to do business with you. This government says we won't do business. So the Jewish community and many other ethnic communities have said, well done.
Okay, but back to the group outside, because they're portrayed as normal citizens
Far from it.
So these people are essentially the lunatic left. And I'm not being disparaging. They are actual committed Marxist, Trotskyites,
anarchists.
And they are portrayed as just regular citizens, how do the people reporting like that get away with it?
Because they're both naive and they're tendentious. They have an agenda and they have malice. I mean, you know what journalists are like. Some of them are just, I mean, they're thick as a brick. They don't know what's going on. But when you have the black bloc there, when you have a group of anarchists, when you have every sort of crazy, and what is particularly unpleasant is there's a small number of Jewish people there. And the assumption being that they speak for Jews. It's like apartheid South Africa rolling out the occasional black collaborator from 40 years ago and saying, look, black people love apartheid. No, it was a filthy, stinking regime. These people no more speak for the Jewish community than those people spoke for black people. Vast majority of Jewish people are generally supportive of Israel. They may be critical, but they don't want it to be destroyed the way these lunatics do.
Okay, I want to show you the poster that went out from the protesters trying to...
I'm angry at it.
...to come out. Well, okay, well, let's show it and then hear from Michael on why he's angry about it. We are here in outrage, they say, and that's Jason Kenney. If you didn't know it, the picture's Jason Kenney because he's got 5 o'clock shadow. There's probably a picture of him taken at 7 o'clock in the morning, just after he shaved. And it talks about how he's getting this from Haifa University, honorary degree. It's at the Royal York. Ceremony is supported by conservative elites like Stephen Harper, Ezra Levant, and Peter Monk. There's nothing honorable about Kenney or this ceremony. What makes you so upset about this?
My name's not there. I mean, Ezra wasn't even there. Mind you, I think I was sitting at his table. I think he paid for my dinner. But you know, if people knew Haifa and Haifa University, Haifa is this is not a settlement somewhere. This is not a group of religious zealots. Well, I'm not completely comfortable with it. This is Haifa. This is so progressive, where you constantly see Jew and Arab together. You wouldn't even tell the difference. Israeli Arabs and Palestinians, Muslims from other Middle Eastern countries going to study at this university. And a lot of this was about the founding of a chair in Holocaust studies to make sure that people learn about the Holocaust. And these cretins outside thought that was a bad thing, that you shouldn't be doing this. They are not normal Canadians. Look, most Canadians are indifferent to all of this, and those who are political think it's a good thing that we have a link to a country with similar values, Israel, and a city like Haifa that's so progressive. These idiots out there, completely irrelevant.
All right, Michael, thanks so much. If you want to know how you can tell what the protesters are all about, read their signs, show their signs. That will tell you so much about them, and that was the truth with this protest as well. Unfortunately, it seems that a lot of journalists just can't read. Stick around, we've got more to come.